Hello and welcome to another update. In this one, I'll be covering the whole front line, and as usual, there's fighting going all the way from Uledar to the north by Bakhmutivka, where the Russian forces have actually managed to advance slightly by the rail lines. So in the past few days and weeks, the Russian forces have managed to advance slowly and surely through the Bakhmutivka area down the rail lines and are now soon to reach the western part of Krasnohorivka. So after the Ukrainian forces managed to recapture the railways, which allows them to use it for supplies again, the Russian forces are now pushing through the railways here to the northwest, which would then allow them to attack the railways from multiple directions and regain a foothold, taking control over it, which is what they're aiming for. Other than that, fighting continues in the usual areas, all the way on the front line from Novomykhailivka and Uledar to Novobakhmutivka and Berdishi area. Then we see to the Crimean front, there is no territorial changes, only the usual fighting in between Makiyivka all the way down to Spirne, where the Russian forces continuously attack on the whole front line, and there's no proper territorial changes or changes in the situation. I am now only 1,384 subscribers from hitting 100,000 subscribers. 35% of my viewers are subscribed. Thank you very much. 65% are not subscribed. And I get about 100,000 views every video. If just 2% of you subscribe, I will hit 100,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. As for the Bakhmut area, fighting continues by Ivanivske, Bohdanivka, or south of Orihov, Vasilivka, and by the E40 highway. And then we see fighting continuing by the trench network area, by the road here northwest of Hormove. And the Russian forces have still cut it, which means that there will be no supplies going front and back from this area, which leaves the only supply lines here to the southeast and west of Bakhmut, where the Russian forces are within 100 meters of the southeastern one and have cut it here. However, there are still some smaller roads south of the central residential area, high-rise residential area in the western part of the city. And then we have this road here to the northwest of this, which the Russian forces are attempting to cut, either by taking Hormove or by pushing through the Olympic School here to the northwest of the city and pushing southwestwards to take it and cut off the roads here to the southwest. If they manage to cut this road, then there would essentially be no supplies going in and out of the city. So essentially what we see now is heavy fighting all over the front line within the city of Bakhmut, as Russian forces recently cut this road as well. And there's this bank area, which I earlier said it looked like, which somewhat looks like a church, but apparently it's a bank. So there's actually some video footage from this area. From this drone footage here, we can see the utter destruction within the city of Bakhmut. If we look at the residential buildings here, we can see that they are all completely destroyed. Every so often, there's a few buildings standing here and there. However, it is completely destroyed all over the whole part of the city. And this is all recorded on the western parts of the city. See here a few buildings standing somewhat, and then the rest is completely destroyed. We have some high-rise buildings here to the north, and within them we also see some holes into them, and it is just complete destruction from all of the artillery strikes and bomb strikes. We can see here there's huge holes in the ground, as we can see that there's still fires ongoing. Some of the buildings are still standing throughout all of this bombardment, either because they aren't hit or because they're simply that heavily fortified. Then we see some high-rise buildings here to the north. This is the central western high-rise building residential area, and we can see there's also some craters and holes within the buildings here to the north. And then there's also a lot of destruction here in the center. Just everywhere, utter destruction. Then we have this church here to the northwest. And it has been geolocated to take place right here. This is the church/bank area. Bank that looks like a church. And then there's the intersection right here. There's the high-rise buildings and all of the destruction, the building that is still standing. So that is the general situation and how it looks like from recent drone footage, actually just from yesterday. So there's heavy fighting within the city, utter destruction everywhere. And the general situation looks very bad for the Ukrainians, as Russian forces just continuously bombard everything out of the city to the point where there's barely anything left to defend. And that is all for this update. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.